Stillwater, though.
Comic fan, we're looking at Stillwater. This right here may be the best comic book to come out of Skybound in quite some time.
It's my favorite Skybound title, but I haven't read that many, to be honest.
Everybody needs to get this comic book. It's not, I would say it's kind of a thriller, adventure, mystery type of book. It's not scary, but it's thought-provoking.
Right, and it definitely comes off as a horror comic based on the skeleton cover here, and it looks scary based on the cover, but one of my favorite things about comics is that when you first get into comics, you jump in and you read Avengers, you read Batman, you read Spider-Man, and eventually, at least for me, like the capes, the superpowers, the action, superhero action gets old, and like I need something else, anything else. So this is a perfect example of a book that I love that not a lot of people are talking about or even really know about, I think, because so much of the conversation is centered on Marvel and DC superhero comics.
I agree. And who's this by? We got Chip Zdarsky.
Correct. Written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Ramon Perez and Mike Spicer on colors.
All three of them do a wonderful job in this comic book. And there's a trade out. I read the first trade and some of the volume 2. And I liked so much about volume 2 that I thought this is a perfect time to talk about this particular comic book and to encourage individuals to stick through it because stuff gets off the chain after the first volume. And this world that's being built by Chip Zdarsky, this can go the distance, man. This could actually be
This could be a show.
This could be an ongoing show. This is something that I can see akin to like a Y the Last Man type of length.
Hopefully it survives.
There's
R.I.P.
There's so many routes they can go with this. However, let's break down some of the basics. And something you're going to find with our breakdowns, Comic Fam, is that aside from us trying to leave you with something so you can enjoy the book, not have it entirely spoiled, we're going to hone in on synopsis that are been advertised. So like if you read the back of the book, that's kind of the information we're providing you. We're going to give you a taste of it so that if you're interested, you can go and enjoy it in its entirety and its
You won't
fullest.
have it all spoiled already just from watching this.
We're just giving you like a little appetizer.
Right.
All right. So, as mentioned, the creative team, but this book starts out with a dude getting fired from his job. His name is Daniel. He goes by Dan, but his birth name was Tom.
That's why you like this book.
That's why I like it.
You wouldn't like it if his first name was like Jim or something.
They call him Tommy in this book, and that's actually what I went by all throughout my youth.
Interesting.
I went by Tommy.
That is the most interesting thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's pretty fascinating.
I went by Ryan.
You went by just Ryan?
Just Ryan. I didn't become Fire Guy until I hit age 12.
There you go. So we have we have a gentleman, Dan, getting fired from his job. And this is something that I really enjoyed at the start of this book, but I think some people disliked it.
I definitely have personal experience with some friends of mine giving up on this book after issue 1 specifically because this main character is introduced as he's a big jerk. He gets fired for like shoving a coworker.
Yeah, he cares way too much about his job and his deadlines, and he kind of pushed somebody,
And then
shoved them.
doesn't realize like
The
he's
gravity
like-
of that?
He's like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just stay home for a couple days or like get suspended. And she's like, no, we gotta fire you, man. That's assault. That's like a crime.
So
You
it's
can't-
not legal for you to do that, yo.
Right. You're fired.
Sorry. So here's the thing, though. The reason why this happens is because we have to start out this character development from the bottom. He's looking for a new life at the start of this comic book, which is important because the decision he's going to have to make is whether this new opportunity for a new life is one that he wants to take, because this new life could be eternal. Actually, you know what? Maybe this is better. Eternal. There we go. That's a little bit better. But for real, because he gets invited by letter after getting drunk with his homie.
That's what I love. I love how he gets fired and his best friend is like, dude, how often do you get fired, man? Let's go out and party. And the guy's like, I guess that makes sense. And then it cuts to him throwing up outside this bar. And the bouncer's like, dude, you can't come back in.
He's like, what am I going to do with my life, man? He's like, dude, you have to figure that out tomorrow. What you got to figure out is these shots you got to go do.
Shots, baby. But at the bar, you can't come in. You throw up, you're out. Like, that's a good rule for any bouncer, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
And then tomorrow, of course, he wakes up hungover, depressed. Like, now I do actually have to figure out what to do with my life. I don't have a job. I need to pay rent.
But he's telling his friend, like, yo, he gets this letter that says, you want to go for a quick little vacation? Because the dude needs money. He just lost You know, he just lost his job.
And conveniently, the very next day, he gets a letter about his mysterious dead great aunt Bertha or whatever that he's never heard of, and it's like, hey, I just died. Here's a letter from her lawyer that says, like, we need you to come to Stillwater and settle up this inheritance. You got some money coming to you, so come on down to our law office.
See, already it's fishy. It happened immediately
Super
after his
sketch.
job.
Yeah.
After he got fired. Also, it's the person who dropped off the letter said, "Oh, this was a timed event." He's not from USPS. He's not from UPS. He's not even from FedEx. This is like just some random dude who apparently his job is to stick to a
Wait
very
until that day. Yeah.
particular schedule. Kind of like Back to the Future status.
Interesting.
When Doc was like, yo, this has to go to Marty at a very
Oh,
particular
wow.
time and place. Or
reference.
vice versa. Well, I don't know. Marty left the letter and then he delivers it. I don't know. I can't remember.
Watch
Gotta watch
Back
it.
to the Future, I guess.
It's important.
It's nothing to do with Stillwater, but it's a good movie.
There we go. But what we find out in Stillwater is that this world is got so much potential.
So they drive to this town that, like, when they have trouble finding it, right? Isn't it like on GPS, but like there's no
People
signs
don't
for
go
it?
there.
There's no signs for it. They get lost. They stop and ask the lady at the gas station, and she's like, I don't know what the hell Stillwater is. Like, no one knows what it is. But they show up, and it's like this creepy little small town that you like only see in Stephen King books that doesn't really like exist that much anymore. And right off the gate, like, they pull up into town, and they see these two kids fighting on a roof. And it's like, no one notices, and they're just like pushing and shoving each other. And
Our characters see, they're like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like they're just eating at a diner in
Right.
this place. They're looking for street signs. They can't find street signs. They're like, man, how do I find out where to go? Where's the law office? You know, they're brought there for a reason, and they're just grabbing some food, trying to get questions answered when they see this child be thrown off a damn building. What is going
makes that
on?
sound when he hits the ground.
Yeah, and it's bad. Like look at this picture. It's bad.
Not good. That's not a good situation.
That's not a good situation. Clearly, our person we're following here, Dan, is they're mortified. Like this is not something okay. Like let's get him to a hospital. Let's figure out what's going on.
Nobody cares. That's the scary part. Like people are just continue to go about their day, like people walking by.
So, without giving too much away, what we can say is within the synopsis. I'm not even going to show you another picture because anything else is going to give you too much.
Kind of already told them a whole bunch. Like,
I mean, we told them about
issue.
why this is happening to a degree, like what's going to happen here. And this boy will get up.
Correct.
This boy is not dead. You
Right.
can't die in Stillwater.
Within the borders of this town, you cannot die. You don't even age. You can't get drunk. Right?
It's everlasting life.
It's a little scary to think about, and it's also a little cool to think about. And like the premise here is just kind of very open.
It's like the politics of how a society has kept this away during the 21st century from the rest of the human population,
Right. They address that a lot in this book.
and how they're going to handle outsiders who have now learned their secret.
Right.
Comic Fam, Stillwater. Get it on your pull list.
Check out the first trade, if nothing else. This is a very good book. This is one of my favorite books, period, right now.
You will not be disappointed.